Welcome to another top video. I'm Max. This is Kat, and he's trying to eat my hand. This idea started with a previous video. No, stop. Come on, you freaking feline. Stop. This idea started with me not knowing what the hell to do. Sorry. Fucking cat. It started with me not knowing what to do. So I kind of went on a little research spree of weird alcohols, right? But because I actually had this one in mind first. Because there are some of these things that we're going to talk about today, which are pretty weird, and to be honest, some are actually disgusting, as you will see. Cat, freaking stop. Like, I love how he appears there. Look. That's so funny. All right. I don't think I need headphones, actually. Hello. No! Why you do this to me? Why? Why are you like that? All right. Damn. Hello. All right. So today we're doing drugs. Well, not doing drugs. We're doing the top 5. Gets like today we're doing drugs. Gets immediately banned on the channel. No. Hello. Smash button says drugs. Yay. Well, I don't. Hold that thought, because I don't think you will say yay today. I have a list of some pretty disgusting stuff. Like, why would anyone do that? It's wild. All right. Before we continue and dive into it, make sure to do the social thingies: like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend, send this to your significant other, go to the corner, yes, the corner of your street, and just subscribe to Yerba Mate Talks. And that way we can share the love for the channel. All right. If you haven't checked out, Dr. J started a show, and it's going to be Thursdays around midday. So, check it out, because it's interesting. I hope it becomes a very successful series. And to our European friends, it's a more Europe-friendly time for streams. So I hope it is very, very successful. All right. Let me do this. And and this. Okay. So, number 5. Number 5 is the reason why it's there. It's the only one that is that doesn't actually fit the group. It's just that it is very weird, to me at least, that the effects of this thing are actually real, right? All right, so number 5, flunitrazepam, commonly known as Rohypnol, is a benzodiazepine used to treat severe insomnia. Severe insomnia and assist with anesthesia. As with other hypnotics, flunitrazepam has been advised to be prescribed only for short-term use or by those with chronic insomnia on an occasional basis. The reason why this one is very tied to, for example, scopolamine, is that it doesn't fully get put you to sleep, but it kind of leaves people in a haze where they become heavily influenceable by other people. So, in the case, for example, of scopolamine, you can people can tell you to do stuff, and you don't have the presence of mind of not doing it, which is weird. Adverse effects. Adverse effects of flunitrazepam include dependency, both physical and psychological, reduced sleep quality, resulting in somnolence, and overdose, resulting in excessive sedation, impairment of balance and speech, respiratory depression or coma, or possibly death. Because of the latter, flunitrazepam is commonly used in a not I mean, you can read there probably. No. Yeah, it's used for people who want to not be here anymore, usually elderly. When used late in pregnancy, it might cause hypotonia of the fetus. And the problem with these drugs is that, for example, they can be used to, I don't know, maybe make you go to the ATM and give people all your money, right? From just take it all, and you're easily suggestible. Like, people just will tell you, hey, do this, and you just do it. Yeah, it's this and scopolamine are. It is freaky that something like that actually exists. Like, that the idea of the hypnosis as it is portrayed, in media, actually can happen with drugs. It's a weird, very, very weird situation, and that's why it's number 5. It goes so downhill from here, so downhill. NetTube user says, on the topic of drugs, our government has launched a campaign aimed at discouraging hashish use among young people using targeted advertisements. Interesting. Yes. Hashish, we used to be able to get a little bit of hash in during, I don't know, about 10 years ago. Now it's more common, but it was actual hash from like Morocco or some stuff like that. Yeah, I wouldn't advise it for young people. In general, I wouldn't advise young people to do drugs, like, at all. But then there's also another thing. Like, I recently met someone who started doing drugs in their 30s, and they like, their life just took a dive. On the other hand, I started doing drugs young, and now I don't do anymore. So I don't know. It's a difficult matter. Of course, one would suggest, like, hey, maybe at least wait until you're 18, so you're legally an adult and you can be responsible for your decisions. You don't get your parents in trouble, that kind of stuff. But it's a tough one. It's a tough one. The balance between risk and reward is super hard. All right. Number 4. Where did I have my links? Hold on. Oh, here. Number 4 is... Shoot. That didn't work. There. Yes. Number 4 is the psilocybe cubensis. Why? Because this fungus, this mushroom, grows in poop. And that is freaking disgusting. That is disgusting as hell. Here in Uruguay, of course, we are a country with a lot of grass fields, right? And there's many cows. And of course, when there's cows, there's manure. And when there's manure and it rains, the psilocybin mushrooms grow. I've never tried this, but I don't know. It's a little bit icky. Like it grows on poop, and I don't know how. Even though, I mean, you can wash them and that kind of stuff, but like that thing started its life in freaking poop. So not for me. Commonly known as the magic mushroom, golden shroom, golden halo, golden teacher tube, gold cap, is a species of psilocybin mushroom of moderate potency whose principal active compounds are psilocybin and psilocin. It belongs to the fungus family Hymenogastrophaceae. Holy cow. Known as Stropharia cubensis, it is best known psilocybin mushroom due to its wide distribution and ease of cultivation. We have George Hannes. Hello. Description. I want to do a relationship with cattle. This is interesting. Because psilocybin cubensis is intimately associated with cattle ranching, the fungus has found unique dispersal niches not available to most other members of the family here, Hymenogastrophaceae. Of particular interest is the cattle egret. This is the one. We call it here cucumelo. A colonizer of Old World origin via South America, whose range of distribution overlaps much of that of psilocybin cubensis. Cattle egrets typically walk alongside cattle, preying on insects. They track through spore-laden vegetation and cow dung and transfer the spores to suitable habitats, often thousands of miles away during migration activities. This type of spore dispersal is known as zoogory, and it enables a parent species to propagate over a much greater range than it could achieve alone. The relationship between cattle egrets, and psilocybin cubensis is an example of symbiosis, a situation in which dissimilar organisms live together in close association. And I found this is very interesting because the fungus, the cattle, and the spores. Well, the cow they don't really get much benefit. But the insect and the spores, they do get benefit from this, and it's a symbiosis. It's not a parasitosis, so no one is getting any bad terms out of the arrangement, right? So the other day I learned, you know how we have predators, we have prey. We have also animals that are that eat carrion, right? And there's also another type of animal, which are oh shit, I forgot the word. What's it called? Fuck me. Why did I even go on this tangent if I didn't remember the word? It starts with klepto. Hold on. Oh, I found it. The correct word is kleptoparasitism, which is basically animals that, when, let's say, a lion is eating, I don't know, hunts a small thing, and then the kleptoparasite swoops in, grabs the meal from the lion, and just bolts. It's animals that intercept an animal while they're hunting and like take their prey. It's pretty interesting, and that actually made me think of what's it. He's a kleptoparasite. All right, moving on. Number three. Number three. Number three, we have oh, here. Yes. Number three, we have Cambo, or what you refer to as poison frogs. Cambo, also known as sapo or vacina do sapo, is a substance derived from the natural secretions of an amphibian belonging to Philomedusa family, commonly the dried skin secretions of the giant leaf frog known as the cambo in Portuguese, a species of frogs used for ritualistic purposes with a strong religious and spiritual components. Less commonly, it is used as transdermal medicine. However, evidence for its effectiveness is limited. Cambo is usually used in a group setting called a Cambo circle or Cambo ceremony. The effects on humans usually include tachycardia, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. A meta-review of 50 studies in which 11 cases of acute intoxication were examined found that extreme cases have included psychosis, SIADH, which I have no freaking idea what that is, syndrome of inappropriate anti-diuretic hormone secretion, characterized by physiologically inappropriate release. Never mind. Hello. So yeah, what they do is they grab the freaking frog, they collect the secretions. Look at that. They collect the secretions. They stress the frog, which causes the frog to activate its defense mechanism and secretes a substance from their skin. After these secretions are obtained, the frog is released back into the wild. The secretions are often left to dry. Small burns are created on the skin, and a small dose of frog secretion is applied to the open wounds. So not only you are getting frog secretions, which is, pretty yuck, but then you have to actually burn yourself and then put stuff in the womb. Like, why just smoke a weed and that's it? Like, between this and snorting cocaine, like, seriously, I would do cocaine, and I've never done cocaine because I think that putting stuff up your nose is a super violent thing. So, yeah, this is why. What? How did we get? How did we get to the point of someone figuring out that this particular frog, if you capture it and you stress it, and then you scrape the thing that, if you look here, it was like a kind of like a milky, you can see there, kind of like a milky white thing. Who the hell figured that shit out? Like a psychopath. That just, there's no other way. There is no freaking other way. Wait, did I mess up? Oh no, I didn't. So yeah, this is number 3. All right. Number 2. And if you're sensitive and need to be very careful with this one because this one is rough as hell. Is desomorphin, or street name crocodile. It's usually, it started in Russia. Russia, very big country. Hard to get drugs in Russia because they have it's a dictatorship, so they're very strict in Russia. For example, it's illegal to be gay, right? So, as far as I could gather, there are two versions of crocodile. There is the desomorphin, which is basically a synthetic opioid, but as the legend goes, that that when people run out of drugs in Russia, what they do is they find a mixture of chemicals which have sometimes been known to include like hydrochloric acid, some phosphide compounds, and like very really nasty stuff. Basically, it's just gather whatever you have on the medicine cabinet, put it all into a solution, and just like they shoot that up. And the reason why it's called crocodile is because the skin immediately, very, very, very soon after the beginning of use, the skin of the injection zones becomes kind of reptilish in look. It starts kind of like scaling and falling off. I cannot really show you, but if you feel like investigating, there are some pictures here on the Wikipedia page, and I can scroll down. So as far as I know, there are two versions. One with where they use the desomorphin, which is a synthetic opioid, yes, or that other one that they just mix whatever they have on hand, and that is it. I'll remove this. They remove. They remove the pictures. Okay. Oh no, the one that had pictures was another link I was watching the other day. Never mind. Doesn't some crocodile has gasoline in it? Yes, it's been known because there is no recipe. It's not like the crocodile is one chemical. It's not like it's MDMA or LSD. No, the idea is to try to do here a homemade synthesis of the desomorphin chemical, but usually, because chemistry is not just made out of wishful thinking. Yes, it can sometimes include, here, for example, iodine, phosphorus, and other toxic substances, battery acid, gasoline, paint thinner, hydrochloric acid, sodium hydroxide. It's just a melting pot of absolute disgusting stuff and chemicals. Why would anyone want to inject themselves? Hydrochloric acid is beyond me. I don't know. If you feel like you're doubting, I would say go to the pharmacy, buy hydrochloric acid, and go outside and start throwing hydrochloric acid on top of a leaf, for example. And tell me then that after you see that, that you would want to, inject yourself with something like that. It's this is people who have access to literally nothing else. I think that's the only thing that can actually drive someone to do this kind of a thing. It's whew. And of course, like with this, it's made by people who have no experience in chemistry, people who have no idea what the hell they're doing. So the negative consequences go way beyond the consumption of the end product. There's been reported cases of houses catching on fire, people getting like severe burns, and of course your hydrochloric acid, it can damage your eyes, it can damage your respiratory system. Um, it's a mess. It's a mess. I have no idea. And again, I always have the same question: like, how do people get to this point? Who was the first like wacko that decided to start mixing mixing stuff just to try and get a new chemical? I don't know what would possess someone to actually do this to themselves. Jeff, hello. Yellow. Alrighty. Um, and finally, number one, the have you look at bath salts? Yes, but this wasn't about dangerous drugs. This wasn't about that guy that ended up eating the face of another dude under a bridge because he was on bath salts. No, this was weird stuff. Like the crocodile, if you see the images of the crocodile skin, then you would figure out why it's there, right? But we had the shrooms that grow on poop, the frog here, that the frog thing that is pretty disgusting, and we also had the hypnotics, the flunitrazepam, the rohypnol, or the scopolamine. And now, number one. Seriously, if your stomach is weak and you tend to throw up, I mean, I would suggest going away now and coming back in like 10 minutes because, oh my God, this is fucking disgusting. And it's Jenkem. Jenkem is ugh, in the more poor parts of Africa, started in Zambia or around those places. What they do, I can't believe I'm saying this. What they do is collect poop and pee from the sewers, the drainages, and sadly in the poorest places of Africa, in rivers and creeks that they evacuate all those wastes to. So what they do is they scoop that up, they put it on a can, or they put it on a plastic bottle. Then what they do is they will put a balloon on top, or a bag, a plastic bag, a sealed bag, seal it very tight, and then they leave it out in the sun so that it ferments and it generates gases that go into the balloon. So after a week is done, they take the balloon, and then the results are mostly methane from the decomposition, but there's also other components. Um, and what you call it, and also the bacteria, the I mean, you're fermenting human waste, so you're when you're breathing the balloon in the gas, you're not just getting that, you're basically inhaling microbes and filth. It's just I cannot believe. NetTube user says Leroy Jenkins. Jeff C, yeah, that's right. Ammonia is generated, and ammonia is a very poisonous gas. And of course, I mean, inhalants, I understand, but like breathing in methane gas, you have a chance to displace all of the oxygen in your lungs and actually like generate some serious trouble for you from that lack of breathing. I don't know if you're aware, not too long ago there was a TikTok challenge of people that are inhaling the propellant in air cans, those cans that you use to blow out your keyboard or to blow out the fans on your computer and that kind of stuff that are sold for electronic stores. It turns out people on TikTok are doing a challenge, which is flipping the can back upside down, and that causes just the propellant goes out. And this TikTok influencer, tried this challenge, and she died immediately. So inhalants are a very slippery slope, and more when I mean, talk about disgusting. Like that must smell just freaking horrible. Seriously. I once was around some guys that were smoking DMT, and they offered me, and I was like, yeah, nope. That is just not going to happen. That smells like donkey butt. So yeah, no. So yeah, those are top 5 drugs weirdest that I found for this time. We might go on and do some more like dangerous or other types of top lists, right? But I wanted to get done this with the alcohols that we saw last time, and with these drugs. I don't know. My conclusion is that people are just freaking weird. It does seem to be a common biological drive for animals to want to chase those altered mental states. But in a world where you can take an LSD tab and have some fun, watch some colors, and basically go about your day with a good night's sleep afterwards, right? In a world where things like that exist, or where marijuana exists, why would anyone want to do any of this? Is beyond me. And now, what we're going to do, while we finish the show, we are going to decide out of the things that we did today, Q&A? No. Oh, well, yeah, maybe we can do a Q&A. Hold on. Q&A. Okay. What would... Okay, the situation is this. Out of the top 5 today, you have to choose one. You have to choose one of the things to actually do. You're being held at gunpoint, and you have to choose out of one. And let me remind you, because we have a few people that are coming in recently. So, out of the top 5 today, which one would you do if forced? Do if forced. All right. There we go. Okay. So now you can use the little box to reply. And while I finish my rambling, we can... Damn, I knew I should have taken the magic mushrooms, because that's what everyone was going to. Artem says, I have to admit, it took me some time to figure out what you meant by yes. I've never seen pipe 2 used as R. My hack speech is poor. I mean, I am an elite hacker, according to all flat earthers. So, yeah. I just didn't want to put the name out in the open in the title of the video, so I did the thing. And then for the U, it's like pipe _pipe G5. Pretty creative, right? Pretty creative, I have to say. I'm very pleased with myself about that. So glad you noticed. So we had psilocybin. We had the Jenkem, the most disgusting thing ever. Oh, shoot, I freaking closed it. The scopolamines, the hypnotics. Well, the shrooms that grow on poop. And the frogs. And the frogs licking that nasty stuff. Nasty frog stuff. I would do the frog thing. Seems more natural. Yeah, but that's... You're still getting frog... and I like reptiles, but amphibians like that, ew. They're squishy, and they're like covered in drool, and so it's disgusting, absolutely disgusting. All right, let's see if we're getting some answers. Oh, okay. That's good. Okay. Raven said psilocybin. What about mixing? Wait, where is that? Where can I put that on screen? Because that's a hilarious comment. No. Oh, no, it doesn't. Never mind. Okay, NetTube user answer to the Q&A. What about mixing them all together to create the top one? Oh, yeah, that would be... Ugh. That would be disgusting and probably overdose. I guess, yeah, the frog, if you take out the psilocybin mushrooms that just because they're on poop, I don't like that. If you will remove that, now I guess I will go to the frog, because even though it's disgusting, I don't know, the thing is dried out. But I don't know. I guess people over the course of history, people have done all kinds of drugs and all kinds of alcohols and opium and this and that. Oh, and my rant was going to be that it seems to be some kind of biological drive for the higher functioning animals like us, like mammals, like dolphins, uh, elephants. We talked about it on the episode about alcohols that um, the elephants and the some apes and some monkeys, they will feed off of fermenting fruit in order to get drunk. So it does seem that there is this innate chasing of these altered states, right? That is not just exclusive to humans. I remember the mention of some experiments with rats in which they gave the rats a button that how was it? Hold on. They gave the rats a button that would give them like drugs. I think it was like cocaine or something like that, and another button that would give them food. And turns out that the rats would just press the cocaine button until they just died. And rats are not as high functioning mentally as apes, but yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thing. I am Raven, sorry, says koalas only eat eucalyptus because of the high. Yes, I've heard this, and probably because they need to get high to forget that they're like riddled with freaking chlamydia all over the place. Yes, look up chlamydia, like koala chlamydia rate. It's baffling. Apparently they all have chlamydia, which is weird. It's not that weird, actually. Herpes. Sorry, coral gets freaking herpes. Nature it's just wild, right? But yeah, apparently there seems to be this idea of chasing this altered mental states. The thing is, it cannot become your whole life. You cannot just live to get high and do drugs and this and that. There's way more. Don't get me wrong. I am the living example that one can do for a period of time, can do drugs and then just stop. But there are some caveats. For example, I knew that my personality, that I could never, for example, try cocaine, that would be a very slippery slope, well, actually a teleportation into addiction. That would be for me, because I have an addictive personality. And of course, I always knew that just from the chemical aspect of it, that I should never try. And I've been with friends that have take as much as you want kind of a thing deal, and I always said no. But yeah, it's about knowing yourself, knowing the substances, and that kind of a thing. I always found drugs fascinating from the standpoint of the biochemistry. When I started college, I had to drop out because I started working 8 hours a day. When I started college, I wanted to do a license in biochemistry. And hopefully, if I ever get to be able to work a little bit less than 8 hours a day, I will go back to school to get my license in biochemistry, because I do fascinating. I like chemistry is fascinating to me, right? And how substances work, how we create new substances, how chemistry is just amazing. And then the interaction of pure chemistry with human biology, that is just a match made in heaven. And how do drugs work, bioavailability, half times, and yeah, it fascinates me to no end. It always has, probably always will. So from a very purely from a chemical standpoint, I find it fascinating. And then we get into the effects. And I've tried heavy doses of LSD. I've tried very pure MDMA, both pills and crystals and that kind of thing. My coworker is taking organic chem, says Calder V. Organic chem is fun. Organic chem is fun. Inorganic chem is also fun. But yeah, it's a fascinating thing, and how we create polymers and all of this. But I was always more interested in drugs because those have like an actual effect on the body. And yeah, I would love to actually get my license in biochemistry, just for the heck of it. No, it's not that I have plans to work as a biochemist or anything. Just I like it. Like Artem says, I'm a noob when it comes to drug consumption. Weed and shrooms are the only stuff I ever tried, and that's fine. I mean, that is fine. I would always recommend, take a good hard evaluation of yourself. Like, I know I have an addictive personality. If you gave me, I worked at McDonald's and I ate at McDonald's every day. And after 3 months, everyone that came in together to work there on the first batch, they were all like, I'm sick of eating McDonald's. And I was like, I love it. I could do this every day. And I did work there for a year and a half. So I did eat McDonald's for a year and a half every day. Well, 5 days a week, because I had 2 days off. So yeah, this idea of knowing what type of personality you are, if you are, if you have an addictive personality, or if you have self-control, right? If you have self-control, like for example, I do have friends that have control, and they have taken cocaine, but they never fell into addiction, and they have tried other stuff and they didn't fall into addiction either. So it is a very personal thing, but I think that taking that hard look on yourself and knowing yourself, knowing your substances, knowing the chemistry, the effects, and doing drugs responsibly, I think it's one can have fun and still be safe. So so I would say, I mean, go at your pace. Don't let peer pressure come on. Like don't let peer pressure get to you, and because you can still have fun if you're there with your friends and you don't do drugs and they do. You can just laugh at them being stupid and throwing up and yada yada. You know how they say, always have a chaperone, someone who doesn't do drugs and that kind of a thing. That is usually a good idea. But yeah, why would you do that? I vroom vroom. It's Razor. Says I took coke for the first time 3 weekends ago. I mean, you're probably in the U.S. I'm going to assume, or Europe. Let's say it works the same for either. That traveled in the butt of someone through the airport. Why would you want to do that? I don't. And yeah, depending on where you are, you might get Canada. Oh, rough. No, I wouldn't suggest you do it anymore. Uh, it works this way, right? The cartels down in South America. Oh, Punk and Droblik, hey Max, love your stream. Thank you so much. Keep making fun videos. Fun of with six bits. Love that. Oh, yeah, I'm giving it a rest because I did too many in a row, so I'm kind of letting it go. But I was saying, or travel in the lining of a tent. Yes, but the problem is, the biggest problem that I see is that up in Canada, you don't get what the cartels ship. Ah, you see, he says, I found it underwhelming. To be fair, I was on MDMA also, which was much, much stronger. I went to my first all-night rave. Okay. Like the second part, don't like the other part. The reason is because up in Canada, you do not get what the people down here in South America ship, right? What happens is that gets passed from hand to hand, and every step of the way, in order to maximize profit, it gets cut, so it gets reduced a little bit. So by the time you get it in Canada, it has gone through so many hands that you can't really know what the hell is in there. Like, you really can't know unless you have labs or you have testing kits and that kind of a thing. And right now, especially in the US, they are mixing fentanyl into cocaine, which is one of the most stupid things to do because they are completely opposite. Cocaine is an upper, fentanyl is a downer. And those things should never be mixed, because when a drug has an effect of an upper, of putting your body into like a stressful situation, putting you into more vigil and that kind of a thing, and then at the same time you take a downer, your body has no idea what to do. It's a very big shock to your system. And you also have the problem of the being cut with fentanyl or who knows what. Used to be people cut cocaine with powdered milk, which okay, not that big of a deal. But now with fentanyl, I would not suggest anyone do cocaine anytime soon ever. You just can't risk it, dude. And the people that are doing this, they're very unscrupulous, and they don't really take the necessary precautions of the dosage. They don't take the necessary precautions of homogenizing the whole batch. So you might get a batch that has a couple more milligrams fentanyl than you can take, and that's it. And that's the last thing that you took. So yeah, for people in the US, in Europe, Australia, places really far away from South America, I would say do not do that. Here in Uruguay, there's been 0 cases of coke cut with fentanyl, but because we get pure. What? What was that series? I don't know. She was looking for something gold. I have no idea. Um, so we get the pure stuff, right? Here in Uruguay, it's less than $10 for a gram of of pure cocaine, which I would also never do. But I mean, it's less risky in today's world. I think cocaine is a very slippery slope, and I wouldn't recommend anyone do it ever. What's Catherine say? Don't ever minimize the effects of coke. I wasn't. Even taking it once was the advice I was kindly given by a coke addict, and I listened. It's dangerous. Yes, I know. And I don't know why you're saying something that I didn't do, because I never tried it, even because I know the effects. I know what it did. Yeah. And the fentanyl right now makes it a Russian roulette. Like, to be perfectly honest, it makes it a Russian roulette. Ooh, CK, hello, bro. How you doing? So, yep. Let me check if we have any new responses to the question, and we'll end it. I have no idea what else we're going doing the rest of the week. There is the next debate on MDD that is scheduled is for the 25th. That is Monday, and it would be Malish against the Jake, the moron dude, talking about feminism. That's going to be a train wreck, but we'll see how that goes. You should have been clearer. No, you came in late and you didn't listen what I said before. I am very clear, and it's not the first time that I talk about this, so. Wait. Are you saying drug dealers don't have quality control? Yeah, it's a shame. It's almost like it's not regulated and everything is illegal, so they don't care about their customers, which I never understood how, let's say, people are drug dealers, like how you would want to either rip off your customers or put them in a situation where they can OD, like with the fentanyl, right? So I never understood that. Why? What would push someone to do something like that? I mean, from a business standpoint, makes no sense. Because if you're a drug dealer, you should be. I mean, you need your customers coming back. If they OD and they go to rehab, you don't get them back. If they die, you don't get them back. If you give them shit product, they don't get them back. So I don't know. I'm giving like pro tips on how to be a better drug dealer, but it was always weird to me how they would do that. I would think that from a business standpoint, it would make more sense to have people coming back for good stuff than coming back for bad stuff. So I don't know. I missed the most hippiest discussion. I don't know if it was hippie. I don't know if it was hippie, because we were talking about like the bad, like some nasty drugs. You might get a kick out of it, but. Alrighty, that's all I had planned for today. I kind of like this top 5 formats. Allows me to do a very quick, short, pithy video and then move on. Tomorrow we'll see what we do. We have also to reschedule the stream that we had planned for yesterday, but Isa was in class. He didn't fall asleep. He was in class, and forgot that that he had class. So we'll schedule that later. Sarah Jones says, I guess it depends how big your customer base is. If you need to keep your customers, you'll have some standards. If you can just throw it out, anything to max profits, I guess. Yeah. But I mean, one would have to actually do the math to see, is it really worth it to maximize profits like that if you're going to be, of course they're not going to care about the damage they do, but if you damage your customers so much that you lose them, then it stops being, even if you don't care about the people, it stops being a good business advice, or it stops being a good business move. And YouTube, please don't demonetize me. Please don't nuke the channel over this. CK says, you're right. Also, sometimes the smaller dealers are probably not testing it and getting it from another dude. So it's through so many hands, they probably don't care. So, but true, yeah, we talked about the hand passing and how it gets cut. And right now with fentanyl, it's just too dangerous to do some. And I actually saw a couple of reports. Of weed being laced with fentanyl. That should be a war crime. You should be sent to the gallows over that. Because what? Like how? No. That's what that it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Like, seriously, you should be judged at the hay if you sell weed with fentanyl. That is just a crime against humanity. That is a crime against God. God gave us weed so that we would be happy and smoke around and write some reggaes and be hippies and that kind of stuff. And here you are ruining God's creation to maximize profit by putting fentanyl on weed. Fuck you. Oh, Max makes no sense sometimes, but yeah. No, I actually believe that should be, putting fentanyl on weed should be punishable by an automatic life sentence. And hello. Says Monkey Cat Pat Pat. And just to end on a happier note, I've been seeing this video all day, and I want to share it with you. Maybe you can tell me if this is legit or not. It does look real, but I will. I don't know. I am reserving judgment, but this is one of the things that flat earthers have requested a lot, which is, why can we never see a meteor? So I've been seeing this on many social networks. So this is apparently a meteor hitting the moon. That's cool. That is cool. I wonder if that's the only angle we have. CK says, I went to a show last September and I don't know what people were taking or doing, but multiple people were passed out and medics had to carry them out. It was awful. Yeah. And I always got that, for example, with alcohol. I started going out alone and dancing and that kind of thing very young. My parents couldn't really control me. So I was going out dancing at 15, 14, and so on. And I remember the culture here is alcohol, right? A lot of people do alcohol as their main kind of a thing, and it's normalized for underage people to drink alcohol in certain settings, which is awful. So we were like 14, 15, and we would go out dancing, and it would be 6 a.m. My friends were like super drunk and puking and passing out and all that stuff. And I would just smoke a joint and laugh at them. Yeah, alcohol is also, it gets overlooked because it's legal, but it contributes so much to alcohol addiction, and it contributes so much to bad societies. Like, for example, you've never heard in the news go, dude smokes 2 joints, beats his wife to death. You never hear that. What you hear is like, alcoholic dude beats his wife to death over whatever, right? And other stuff, crack and some of the other dangerous drugs. You hear all of those stories, but you never hear, oh yeah, guy smoked 5 joints and went on a murder spree or anything like that. I mean, when you smoke weed, the only thing you're dangerous to is a cake, a bowl of fruit, a bunch of I don't know stuff. It's like you're describing my youth. I'm from Slovenia, and here alcoholism is a big problem. We say it's our main national sport. It's so cool that you're from Slovenia, but yes, and it's very sad. It's very sad that alcohol is so normalized, because I'll let you in on a little secret. Alcohol is legal. Yes. THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, THC is chemically, for all intents and purposes, THC is also an alcohol, right? And there is no reason why, for example, in the US, alcohol is legal and weed at the federal level is on the same level as heroin, for example. It makes absolutely no sense politically, chemically, sociologically, socially. It makes no sense through the legal standpoint. It makes no sense through the prison system standpoint to have someone be able to just buy alcohol off the 7-Eleven. But this other type of alcohol, because it comes from a plant and it's not manufactured by freaking Budweiser, that's illegal. It makes no sense. It's never made any sense. And once you go into the history of drug classification in the US and the drug war, there are some unsavory things there. Like it was meant to disproportionately attack a segment of the population, the poor segment of the population. I think it's same for most of ex-communist bloc countries around here. Yeah. Punk and Drovlik. I just caught the pun on your name. Gets drunk, spits on wife. Yeah. Yep. We don't have a spitting, a wife spitting emoji, but we do have an emoji. We do have a Witsit emoji, don't we? Hold on, let me check. I don't even remember. Ah, come on, what the hell? Sorry, one moment. In the meantime, Sarah Jones says, Miss Raving drugs in the late 90s and 2000s where everything was made to enjoy, not make you pass out. That was what alcohol was for. Oh, yeah, I agree. Uh, we have. Artem says, yeah, I agree. While weed isn't legal here, alcohol is completely normalized. Alcohol ban for underage people here was introduced only like 15 years ago, which is wild. Yep. CK says, my friend had to quit THC because of the DAPens. He has cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome, CHS. I didn't know that existed until last year. It was bad. It was bad. Yeah, it's cannabinoid. Oh, thank you for this. Cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome happens when you have cycles of nausea, vomiting, and abdominal pain after using cannabis for a long time. Yep, exactly. Uh, and it sucks. And it is when people tell you you can get addicted or you can have this kind. This is not addiction, but it's there. It's a very iffy limits on these things. But people can tell you that you can develop cannabis abuse. And the first time someone told me about that, it's like, what? What? So yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions, and it takes a lot of studying and that kind of stuff to get to know really what's going on. Stop the stupidities. Hi, all hope everything is doing well. I am fortunate enough that I'm always doing awesome, but thank you for asking. I hope you are doing well, and I hope everyone in the audience is doing well. Um, Homer to alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems. And then Monkey Kappa Pat says alcohol has messed up my life. And we also have the example of Shifty, who I'm so glad that they're clean. But yes, fortunately, I never liked alcohol. I don't really like the taste, and I don't like the buzz. It's not for me. And I also have a very vivid memory of my paternal grandmother, who was an alcoholic, sitting in the door of my house, not banging on our front door, and my father wouldn't let her in because she was super drunk. So yeah, I do have kind of those memories, and I was always afraid of you know alcoholism from a very young age, and seeing the homeless people. You see them on the street, and they get a couple of bucks, and all they do is just they go somewhere and buy loose wine, we call it here, that is just uh, supermarkets, kind of like mom and pop stores. They buy a 5 liter jug of wine, and they will sell it loose. They will sell it, you will take a 600 milliliter bottle of Coke, and they will fill that up, and you pay that when you can't afford, a brick, a box wine or some shit like that. So it's a difficult thing. Alcoholism. I was always very afraid of it since I was a little kid. All right, I'm gonna end the Q&A, and we're gonna wrap it up. Big Fish. We were talking about, we were doing a top 5 drugs, like I did the other time with alcohol. So yeah, we did that, and now I'm just rambling. Rubik says, I didn't accidentally chat at the wrong username. Yeah, I feel you. It happens to me all the time. Do you want a preview for the upcoming short on Craig's channel? I don't think it fits the theme today. But if you want a preview, it's a widget wrap. No, but I don't think we can premiere. No, I don't think we can do it. I think it would be best to it would be best to premiere that on Craig's channel. But thank you so much though for offering. Alrighty. Let's see what we have. Do we have no nothing else? Okay. I'm I can I yeah, I bet. I bet. Alrighty. With that, we can call it a night. We'll see if we can actually get to schedule the stream that was postponed yesterday that we had planned. It turned out to be, a disgrace with a silver lining, right? Because in the end, we didn't do our show that we had planned for yesterday, but we managed to watch Mike's stream with that crazy lady. It's funny that she thinks that she's in the right and that she won yesterday. That is just wild. And then after the show ended last night, she started getting on my and Roger that's DMs, and she says some of the most heinous stuff. But she has like 5 insults. So she does the 5 insults and then she goes back to number 1. So she becomes very boring very quickly. Let's see. What do we have here? Nothing. All right. Well, peeps, I'll see if I can plan something more fun for tomorrow. And I also need to groom. I also need to groom myself. Yeah, I've been lazy. I need to go to the barber, actually. Artem says, oh my God, yes, that crazy Karen is completely unhinged. Yep. Bendy Water, no. As the discoverer of this gem, I get to name it. Just like when people discover comets and discover, meteors and that kind of stuff, I get to name her. So her name is Blue Waffle. And if you don't know what that is, go into a private browser and Google that, and you will see why. If you are weak in the stomach and you throw up easily, do not watch it. Do not Google Blue Waffle. If you're strong in the stomach and you don't throw up easily, then you can do that because it's disgusting. Alrighty, peeps, nothing else for today. Be sure to do the social things like share, subscribe. I got distracted by a comment. Blue Waffle. Oh, yes. Make sure to do the social thing is like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend, send this to your significant other, go to the corner, yes, the corner of your street, and yell subscribe to Yerba Mate Talks. That way we can share the love for the channel. We're very close. We're creeping up little by little. We're gaining subs, and hopefully we can get to 1,000 in no time, so we can get the full monetization and also, increase. And the family gets bigger, and we have more uncles, more cousins and nieces, and all of that. Cola Flurf. I don't have. Hold on. I do have a US phone number, but the problem is that I have a US phone number from my office, and I don't want to give them my direct line to my boss because I don't want them to know where I freaking work. Oh my God. Batman. Oh, Batman said the it's innocent, so I'll show it. It's not related, but it's funny. It says at the bottom, what's the opposite of thank you? Oh my god. All right. And with that, we're going to call it a night. Thank you for being there. Love you all, each and every one of you. Look, there's a sleepy cat over there. And thank you so much. Take care. We'll catch you on the next one, and hopefully we can do something fun tomorrow. Take care. Have a good night. If you don't